Hi everyone, my name is Jenny Walsh. I'm a doTERRA Diamond, and today we're going to be talking about placements. We're going to go over some basic definitions and terms to know. We're going to talk about the value of enrollership, and lastly, we're going to go through some different placement scenarios. So, some basic definitions. Enroller. Enroller is the person who did that initial work with someone. So they sampled them, invited them, they taught them about essential oils. They're the main supporter. The enroller is the one who makes the 20% fast start for the first 60 days of the new enrollment. Sponsor. Now that's where someone is placed in your organization. The enroller and sponsor can be the same, but oftentimes it's different. So say this is you right here. You enrolled this person, and if you put them right on your front line, right below you, then you would be the enroller and the sponsor. Now say you enrolled someone, this is the person you enrolled, so you have enrollership, and then you sponsored them under this person. So they're the sponsor and you're the enroller. The sponsor's role is to provide support to the person sponsored under them. The sponsor still benefits from Power of 3 and unilevel commission. So for example, even though this person doesn't have enrollership of this one, they're just the sponsor, that could help them with their Power of 3. And also, they still make the unilevel commission, that 2, 3, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7% as you go down, they still benefit from that and Power of 3. Now, it is a gift to have someone sponsored underneath you. It's not something that should be expected. Next definition that we're going to talk about is wholesale member. So that's a doTERRA wholesale customer only. They do not have to leave a social security number and they cannot earn income. They do have all the same perks of the Wellness Advocate account, just without the earnings. So anytime you enroll anyone, whether it's a wholesale member or a Wellness Advocate, you have a 14-day window where you can change their sponsor one time. So say I initially, this is me right here. I initially enrolled someone and sponsored them under here, but then when I did that membership overview with them, this is why it's so important to do that right away, I realized, you know what? I need to move them to my front line because I think they're going to build the business one day, or for whatever reason. You have one time in the first 14 days where you can change their sponsor. With the wholesale member, they cannot have anyone sponsored under them, okay? So this is a wholesale member. You cannot have a downline with the wholesale member. Now they can upgrade to a Wellness Advocate account at any time. All they have to do is click on the upgrade button online in their account, and they add a social, and they can be a Wellness Advocate. Now, if they choose to upgrade to a Wellness Advocate account before 90 days of being a member, then they have to stay wherever they're sponsored. But if they upgrade to a Wellness Advocate after 90 days, then the enroller will they'll get notified via email, and hopefully that person is telling you anyways that they upgraded, and the enroller has another chance to sponsor them in a new spot where they need them. So if someone wants to build the business right from the beginning and they're going to be a Wellness Advocate, that's fine. But if they're not, if they're just on the border, I always encourage them to be a wholesale customer or a member. That way, after those 90 days, you can possibly get a chance to change them to a different spot where you actually need a builder. Now we'll talk about Wellness Advocate, and that's a doTERRA wholesale member who also provides their social security number, and they can earn an income with doTERRA. They don't have to be an LRP, the Loyalty Rewards Program, and they don't have to spend 100 PV monthly, but if they do, they can earn commissions. And again, you have a 14-day window where you can sponsor them, change their sponsor one time in that 14-day window. And with a Wellness Advocate, their upline has the ability to sponsor under them, so you can build under a Wellness Advocate. Now we're going to talk about tips for placing people. So ideally, you build under builders. Sponsor people under someone who is committed to growing their doTERRA business and who can support the people you place under them. So you don't want to sponsor someone under someone who's, you know, wishy-washy with placing that 100 PV order. You want to put people under someone who's really committed. They're consistently doing their 100 PV. They have goals. They're taking actions to meet those goals. You know, build under builders. When choosing a sponsor for your enrollment, there's a few things to consider. First off, do they know the sponsor? Are they already friends with them? Do they run in the same circle? Will the sponsor support them like you need them to be supported? Power of 3, you have to think about that for you know, where you're going to place people. So say you know, you have your $50 power of 3, and these people, you know, all have their, here, I'll draw it out. So these people have their 3, these people have their 3, but you're lacking 1 for your $250 bonus. Then, you know, you could sponsor them right under there, and it helps that person get their $50 bonus, and it helps you get your $250 bonus. So think about power of 3. One thing that's really helped me with placements is I have a very large whiteboard, and I have all of my builders on it, on my, you know, first, second, third levels at least. And that way I can see where the gaps are and figure out how to place people that way. Another way you would, tips for placing people would be for volume, for rank. So say you're trying to hit silver, and this leg is consistently 3,000, and this leg is consistently 3,000, but you still need this third elite leg to be 3,000, but it's like only 2,000 each month, right? So you're lacking volume there. So you could put, you know, sponsor people under this leg to help you with volume for rank. And typically what you like to do is you like to put customers low in your organization, because after those first 60 days, you're going to make a higher percentage the lower they are, and keep your builders close, more on your first, second, and even third levels. So base the decision though on what is best for the long haul, not just one paycheck. And have good, clear communication with the sponsor about who you're placing under them, and let them know how they can best support that new customer and builder. And this might be the most important thing I say this whole topic. Ask for help when you place people until you really get the hang of it. So ask your upline or your mentor, you know, ask them for help when you place people until you really get the hang of it. Because the way you structure people and placements can really affect your paycheck. So you want to be placing people the wisest and the best way possible. And it's also going to affect your upline's paycheck as well. So it's very team oriented. What helps you also helps them. We're all on the same page. So ask for help, you know, so you can help each other out. Now we're going to move on and talk about the value in enrollership. So enrollership is absolutely key to rank advancement. The people you hold enrollership of qualify you for your rank. So let me get a new sheet here. So say you are trying to hit, that's you, and you're trying to hit Premier. So you need to have 2 legs that are executive, so they each have 2,000 in volume and a total volume of 5,000. In order for you to hit Premier, you have to hold enrollership of these 2 executive legs, okay? And same way, let's just use the example of gold, but it applies to all the ranks. So all the ranks with structure. So say you want to hit, okay, wait, I might have messed that up. So say you want to hit Premier, you have to have enrollership of these 2 executive legs. I think I said that wrong. If you want to hit gold, you have to have enrollership of these 3 Premier legs. So you have to have that enrollership, that enrollership, that enrollership. But let's just say this third person over here, let's just say they're elite, right? They are not really growing the business, but you had sponsored someone underneath them, and you have enrollership, and this person is Premier. So even though this person is not on your front line, you can still qualify and hit gold, because you have this Premier leg that you hold enrollership of, this Premier leg, and this one. So even though it's not on your front line, because you have enrollership is what protects you and lets you be able to hit rank. And it doesn't matter how low in the leg it is. As long as you hold enrollership, you can hit rank. And this is applicable for other ranks as well. You just have to hold enrollership. Now let's use another example. So say you want to hit, let's just say platinum. You have to have 3 silver legs, right? And they each, in order to be silver, each of these legs have to have 3 elite legs, which is 3,000 in each leg. Now say you hold enrollership of this, this person right here, but you sponsored this person under here. Now in order for this person to hit silver, you would have to give up enrollership of this person you sponsored under them for this person to qualify to hit silver. So the question is, when do you give up enrollership? And you can give up enrollership. So this is what I'll say about this. If you did the work with that person that enrolled, keep enrollership of them until it makes sense to give them up. So examples of why you would give up enrollership is kind of just what we talked about. If it makes you and or that sponsor advance in rank, and this is very important, the sponsor fully supports that person and is fully committed to the business by consistently teaching, enrolling, and supporting the people under them, then you would consider definitely giving that up. Now, do not give up enrollership of someone who is advancing faster than their upline sponsor, because you might need that person one day to qualify you for rank. So say this person that you sponsored under this one, say this person is advancing way faster than this one right here. I'd really caution you not to give up enrollership of that person to this one, because this one might make you qualify for rank one day. And one thing else I'll say about just the different qualifications for rank, it does have to be in 3 separate legs. So say you want to hit gold, you'd have to have one premier in this leg, a premier in this leg, a premier in this leg. It can't be 2 premiers in the same leg. All right. Now, can you give up enrollership and get it back one day? Yes, you can. But you can only do that once. So you can give it up and that same person can give it back to you, but just that one time. So just be very cautious with when you give up enrollership, or if you do. Now we're going to talk about some different scenarios and just different placement situations that come up. So the first one is, what do you do when you can't find a builder and your front line is too wide, right? So, all right. This is you again, and say you've just got tons of people on your front line, right? And you're just getting very wide and there's no depth, right? Which is not a good thing, because you want some more structured volume. Then that's when you would consider doing a placeholder. So that's someone who does not mind you building under them and is willing to give up their account when you find a committed builder to take their spot. So it can't be someone from your same household. There's only 1 account per household, that's the rule. But it could be, another family member, your mother or a sister or a friend. So this person, is willing to be a placeholder for you. And so then when you enroll people, you can sponsor them under this person. So at least it gets some of your volume structured into a leg. That way you're not just wasting all this volume on your front line. You can start to structure for certain ranks. Keep in mind though that placeholder, just communicate clearly with them that once you find a committed builder to take that spot, they will lose their account, and they have that account as sits inactive for 6 months. They can't order through it. So if they were in LRP, which they wouldn't have to be, but if they are in LRP and gaining percentage, they would lose that. So just be clear with that person. And then once you got someone who was committed, you would transfer them into that spot. The next situation I'm going to talk about is what to do when someone no longer wants to build, but you have important volume underneath them. Okay, so say this is at one time a committed builder, and there's a whole line underneath them that's really solid, and you don't want to just waste that volume, but this person no longer wants to build the business. So there is an option for a transfer. So basically that person would go out of that spot and you would put a brand new person there. It does have to be a brand new wellness advocate, or it could be a wholesale customer that's past that 90 days and they can transfer into that spot as a new wellness advocate. So with the transfer option, I just want to caution you to be careful who you transfer in. So I would put qualifications on them if they're taking a key spot in your organization, and make sure they're willing to give up that spot if they don't meet those expectations, and consistently grow the organization that they have inherited. And some people even recommend having them sign a contract that, you know, if they don't meet XYZ, that they will be willing to get out of the spot. All right, last situation we're going to talk about, what to do when someone isn't growing at the rate you'd like for them to grow, right? So we all run across this in our business. Everyone has different goals, and just keep in mind we are not their boss, right? It's their business, and not everyone grows at the same pace as you. Typically in those situations, there have been red flags to where you realize they're not really as committed as you. They're not making as many sacrifices as you are. And you kind of have that red flag in your mind like, I don't know if I should build under them. So just keep in mind, it is your decision whether or not to build under them. And if you do choose to build under them, just make sure, like say you choose to build under this person who's just not so committed, keep enrollership of these people underneath them, because you never know, they could qualify you for rank one day like we talked about. Communication is key though. Be open and honest and respectful with those people. And last resort, very last resort, if they are just all talk and no action, and you have been the primary one to grow this organization for them, then you can ask them to transfer out. All right, that's all I have for you. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks, everyone.